What's up guys, I'm pedebeats, and after this video you will make the hardest beats like Southside. In fact, lately he's going crazy, producing a lot of tracks for Future, one for Nardo Week, one for Playboy Cardi. So we will create one of those catchy, simple beats that are also easy to rap on but that sound hard. Oh, and I'll show you how to make your 808 clip like Southside, so let's get into it. So first, the BPM. He used to go at around 160 BPM, but now he uses more like 120 to 130. So let's go to 120 because the bounce here is insane. And you know, in songs like Lil Demon, we have a really metallic sound that is used also in Brazil. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And just to show you an example, let's search for blue bells. Yeah, this has a metallic sound to it, but I don't feel like using this sound for this beat. I'm going to open Riffle and search for a bell like that. This one is hard. Yeah, that's him. And Southside usually uses these root notes in this range because these lower ones sound really good with the 808. So let's go for D sharp minor. Yeah, but let me change the theme real quick. Yeah. Okay, and that's basically Lil Demon, but let's make this more interesting. Like, the trick to make these melodies sound hard is to do less. You need to make simple melodies. If you want to be sure to make something hard, I would use only the first and the fifth note of the scale. Yeah, that's better. Okay, maybe at the end we can change the notes. Yeah, as I said, the less notes you use, the better it is, but if you want to create tension, just use these two notes that are only one semitone apart, and they're going to work perfectly for hard beats. Let's add some effects on these. Make this a bit wider. Some slight reverb. We can also add some chorus, but not a lot, because it will remove that hardness that we have right now. And last, an EQ, because this high end is too high. Okay, that's so much better. Now we can clone this. Let's add another sound on this, like a pad, but with a similar tone. The one is good. Let's try to make the melody more interesting here. Let's use the same notes we use, but in a different bounce. Yeah, we can have it at a low volume. And now they blend perfectly together. And they have the same effects too. Okay, so in tracks like Lil Demon, he kept the main melody simple, so like this. But in songs like Glitchin', the main melody is basically an accent. And to have that sound, we can flip our melody. Let's try to reverse it. Yeah, stretch it. Start with this. Whoa, that's so much better! And let's select generic bleeding to remove the click. We still have it. Every time, man, I have to do that. But now I want also a version with only the first part. Yeah, because this is way easier to rap on. As I say, the less you do, the better it is. Right now I would add a piano bass note. I don't think Southside does that anymore, but it sounds so good. Only one, only like this. Without copying it up because it's too much. Now, I want something in the background. Okay, now it's time to talk about counter melodies. And again, to be honest, we don't have a lot of them in Southside beats. But one thing that he did in Money on Money with Young Thug and Future,
cuddle, we ready. For the op.
I don't really know which one of these made this part, but one trick that we have here is the use of call and response. So before we have something like a lead and then a brass comes in and it sounds insane. So right now I'll actually show you how to create the call and response. Open the memory mode. Whoa, 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 whoa. I just pressed two notes, again the first and the fifth note of the scale. Really dry, but we're going to fix that later, don't worry. So we can have the call on the first bar and then the response here. So let's copy it like this. Maybe find another sound. Nah. Yo. That's crazy. Let's fix a bit this with an EQ. Let's see if a chorus will sound good on this. Yeah, it does. Maybe a shimmer too. Oh, and by the way, if you want to check out Refall effects and Refall, the link is in the description. And Refall will be discounted for the first 100 producers, so don't miss out. We can add also Penman, actually. Yeah. Okay, now it's time for the response. So let's open Expand, because I want to use the brass from here. It actually sounds fake, but it just works for this piece. And here we can use another melody. Nope. You know, I don't like that. And it's good that this happened to me right now. Like, sometimes it's difficult to find counter melodies that you like. And it just takes some more time. Let's try something different and think outside of the box a little bit. So... yeah. That's hard. And to blend these two together better, I'm going to add a bass note here. That always plays. And I will add the same effects that we added to the call, so they sound similar and this effect is more evident. So we can right click, go to File, and select this one and drag it here. Yeah, that's fire, pitch down. Oh, that's way better to create some variation. Okay, that sounds really good, but right now the horns aren't sounding full enough, so I want to layer them with a sound that I really have in mind. Yeah, this one. There's more attack, so it's going to sound pretty good. And let's add a couple of more notes. That's hard. Okay, now that's almost too much. But you know, let's try to push this new wave of making beats a bit more complex, because I don't think Future will struggle to hop on this. So now we should arrange this, but I want to think about the intro, and in Southside beats it's almost the same as the hook, but here I want to add a choir because it's going to add a lot of energy. So let's add this epic choir. And that's it, drop. No. Okay, that's the verse, really simple. And for the second part we can add the second variation. Okay, that sounds really good, and now it's time for the drums. That I think is the most important part of these beats. Also the drums are simple, but they sound bouncy and hard at the same time. But I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Yeah, let's start a clap like this, really hard. And we don't have to create bounce, we can leave it like this. Now the hi-hats are really important. So let's do like Southside and add a roll right here. Going to sound insane. Yeah. Yo. And here, can do something like that. Yeah, that's bounce, you know. Oh, and if you're struggling to find a good hi-hat pattern, I suggest to do the 808 before. Let's actually do that right now. Let's create a boring, simple pattern. Let's keep it boring. So here we have an 808 hit, we should have a roll, we already have something. Also here we already have something, so we are pretty much set. Now also the velocity is really important in the hi-hats, like you will hear the difference. Yeah, that's better. So let's copy this. And at the end we can use triplets. It's not something that Southside does every time, but it always sounds insane. Yeah, let's randomize the pen and velocity and also the pitch. Now let's add an open hat. And usually Southside uses it to create a bounce. Place it in an unusual place like this. So one at the start too. And now let's talk about the 808 and how to make it sound like this. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is to leave the 808 as it is, make it clip a bit, so right now we are above the 0. And then add the soft clipper on the master. Here I have an EQ just to boost a bit the high end, and it works fine. There is no problem with that, especially if it doesn't clash with the melody. So one trick to do is like to play only the 808 and the melody. Sounds good, it's not distorting or anything. If it's distorting, sometimes I route it to another channel and add a soft clipper on there. So then the sound comes to the master already clipped and it's not going to affect the other melodies. Then of course, if you make it clip like 6 dB, it's going to affect everything. Also this strategy has a con, like for example, in the car, it's not going to sound that good. So lately I'm using this bass pick from Arturia that is paid though, and use the clipper with the character like this. It sounds less hard, but in the car it's going to sound good. Enough tech stuff, let's make this pattern interesting. So here we have a hi-hat roll. Let's try to do something also with the 808. Use the 5th note of the scale. Whew. Yeah, let's go higher. That's insane, man. And here we are using triplets, so we should use triplets also here. Yeah, that's crazy. Now we could add counter snares, perks, but Southside doesn't really do that. If you have these 4 elements and they are bouncy enough, you're already set. That's crazy. that part is insane. Let's hear the verse. Yeah, we have a lot of space.